Where are we?
How did you get in the forest?
The mist parted for us.
Impossible.
Where did you learn magic?
This is the first animated musical sequel for Disney. How did you know when you really were like, this is it, it's a go, we're doing it?
Well, I think it was in stages, and the first stage was more about after we had started on the short that we did after the film. The first dailies, our characters, animation dailies, our characters are alive again. We hadn't seen them in about a year come to life, and it was new scenes. And we looked at each other, we go, oh my gosh, I miss these guys.
Yeah.
I really miss these guys. So it was that was the first one, and then we started talking more about, you know, what could be next for our characters. You know, we had gotten some rest after the first one, so now I think we were ready to tackle it. And we got excited. We started to get excited about their journey and what that next thing would be.
Yeah, and it's amazing. The journey, though, to finding when we knew we had it was, what, 3 weeks ago? But I think it's a long process. I found the other day, I would journal as a girl, and I found a journal I'd done on a different journey that we didn't end up doing, but thematically is the same as Elsa, and you were doing all those sketches with it.
Oh, that's right.
I reread it, and it's
Diary of a
interesting.
Snow Queen.
It's Diary of a Snow Queen. And so there's a lot of exploration, but I think our commitment to it was probably about 4.5 years ago, where we knew we were just doing it all. That's all we were doing. We weren't working on anything else.
And even though you know that the initial concept is probably not it's not going to be the final story, but you know, okay, you just got to jump in.
From what I've heard in the past, there's like a room process here, like where directors and writers of different films kind of like sit in a room with each other.
Our story trust, yeah.
How did that affect, like how does that help you make a better movie?
The room itself has about 45 people, because some of the story artists listening as well. And they tell you what they saw and how it made them feel, and it really helps you get perspective of an audience. We trust each other. We're not afraid to give hard notes, but we also, it's a great room where they help you solve. So no one just kind of goes, nah, and then they walk away. They ask questions and they help you get through something.
Although it doesn't feel it at the time, it ultimately helps us create a better movie.
He says that about me because I always come out whining. That's right.
No, it's hard for everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh!
You can't be defensive. You have to listen, and then it takes days or weeks after that to kind of sort through it all and decide what's the next right thing to make the movie better.
Every day it's a little harder as I feel my power grow. Don't you know there's part of me that longs to go into the unknown.
What would you say makes a capital D, capital M Disney musical different from like a Broadway musical or another studio's movies?
If anything, the way we make musicals is closer to how they make a stage musical than it is to sort of a film with songs. I think because what the two do is the story and the music are intertwined, and the songs deepen the emotion and push the story forward. So actually what we do here, I think, is we work more classically with songwriters, and that's often why we work with a lot of Broadway songwriters, because we do it that way. So the two are integrated. With Bobby and Kristen, we go back and forth. I'll write a bunch of scenes, and they'll start playing with a song, and then it makes me change the scenes, and vice versa. So if anything,
sometimes
it's more.
Sometimes you even wrote, it was just what the character was thinking and where they were, a monologue, and then they would go off of that, and they would get all the emotion from that.
Yeah.
So I think it's very, very much like Broadway, and also, you know, they're with us from the beginning. We didn't, you know, start on the story and worked on it for 2 years and said, okay, now we're ready for music. It's like they were with us on the whole journey. So.
Yeah.
I think the one advantage we have is the world that we can create around their songs, the visuals we can use to support it. I love the challenge they throw at us, but just bringing them to life on the screen is fun.
There's fan theory that you guys know, and probably, I think, was it you that debunked it? Or that Tarzan is like basically Anna and Elsa's brother.
I made it up. I directed Tarzan, so I just said in my own little head, I was like putting all the things together. And
He cracked a joke
I
about
cracked
it.
a joke.
It was funny.
On Reddit.
On
and that was
Reddit,
it.
we're like, ha 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 ha.
And
no
we
one's
said,
gonna really
everyone's going to believe it. He's like, no one's going to believe it.
But then it wasn't even that. It was like a year later, my son said to me, Dad, you're trending. And I said, what does that mean? And they said, you're like top 10 when they punch on everything. I went, oh no.
Well, now there's the one that says that like that all the stuff that Ariel finds at the bottom of the sea is
I heard
from the
that
ship.
one too. Well, you'll have to see
The world is
this.
wide.
Yeah, you'll have to see this movie.
You're just
I
gonna
think
see,
we'll
like, a
answer.
fork.
I
mean,
think
part
we'll
of
have
it-
some answers to about the past and the parents, perhaps, in this movie.
I can't wait to see
Yes.
I mean, part of the fun is actually we do enjoy the fans putting these movies together. We don't necessarily do it that way, but it's fun to hear their theories.
Protect Arendelle at all costs.
I believe in you, Elsa, more than anyone or anything.